Hey guys, SoBioHazardous here. Today I am in Minecraft playing with the mod Elemental Caves. It is our mod for modjam, which is a 96-hour mod making competition where you make mod in 96 hours. And today with me I have some very special guests. This is the dev team along with me. I am SoBioHazardous. This is Eric over here.
Hey, sup?
Hello Eric. He is the graphic designer and the ideas man.
Yes.
Fiery doom of throne of doom. And here we have Adrian, also known as ClashSoft, and he was a
Hello.
big help in the code. Hello. Okay, so Eric, what is this mod? How does it work? Let's focus in on it.
Basically, this thing just makes all the caves in the overworld, or at least some of them, depending on the biome, a lot more interesting by just adding sort of underground biomes that allow the caves to not be just boring, rock-filled, just wastelands of ores. So you've got stuff like fire caves, ice caves, forest caves. We've got a bunch of other stuff planned. For right now, we are just going to show you the three main cave types. So we'll go start that after the rain of sponge.
Alright.
And okay, good.
Okay, here we are. We have found the entrance to a forest cave. As you can see over here, we were messing around and some stuff got torched, but we'll get to that later. Forest caves, they're pretty easy to spawn because there's just mass amounts of grass and flowers all above them for reasons we will explain soon. So, as Eric is my lead here, and ClashSoft, which is God knows where. Probably coming. There he is. Hello. Okay.
Hello.
Eric is going to explain some of the stuff, and there's snow in here for some reason.
Yes, the snow is a byproduct of another feature we'll be explaining momentarily. But yeah, basically, these are the probably, I don't know, maybe most common depending on where you spawn.
Yeah, because they only spawn in forests.
Yeah, they spawn in forests and jungles, but forests and jungles are usually the most common biomes, so, I mean, they can be the most common.
Yes.
But essentially these ones are the safest, so it's recommended that you explore these first. But the problem with them is that there's tall grass everywhere, so they're a bit hard to navigate. So if you find one of these, it's recommended that you either take out the crystals, or just frickin' navigate your way into oblivion. I'm gonna see if I can find a more deep one here.
Yeah, so, do you want to explain these crystals, Eric? Each cave has a certain set of properties.
Yeah, each cave has a few, like, constants. So, they each have a different kind of stone that spawns around them. They each have a type of ground covering, whether it be a vanilla block or a new block like this rich grass here. And they each have a crystal type, which in this case is the forest crystal. What the forest crystal does, if you follow me out here,
I will.
if you plop this down on the ground, it will, over time, one day,
Over
a long time.
Well, theoretically, it's supposed to, technically, there.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah.
Spam them everywhere. No.
It basically
Don't spam them everywhere.
bone meals all the nearby bone mealable blocks over time. So like these ones are bone mealing the grass, which caused all this tall grass, then they're bone mealing the taller grass, which causes tall grass.
Yes, it's just a constant cycle of bone meal. That's why you hear all that crunching noise.
Yep.
These
If you're looking for one of these caves, you can basically just find it via the just constant crunching.
Yes.
So if you follow me over here, the neat thing about these is that if you place them on over in deserts, like this one here, if I place a bunch of these things are able to basically terraform an entire area, and they will turn the sand of a desert into clay, turn the clay into grass, or turn the clay into dirt, turn the dirt into grass, and then plant tall grass on top of it. So you can essentially terraform a whole biome relatively easily if you get a bunch of these.
Precisely. Oh yeah, and our caves are made up of specific components, so, Adrian, would you like to explain?
Um,
So
Alright.
basically, it's the wall, the floor, and the ceiling, right?
Yes, and the ceiling mostly has a special add-on.
Correct.
This is in, I think, all cave types we have so far, the crystal. But it could be anything like a torch or I don't know.
Yep,
And
it's got plans for other ones later.
It's mostly yeah, and we can generate them as stalactites or however we'll need to do that depending on the cave.
yes, and for example, the ice caves have a special layer of liquid. I think below
Yes.
Y32,
Yeah.
I think.
Mhm.
And this liquid is ice flow. Does anyone else want to explain it?
Yeah. We'll get to the other caves soon. But basically, we have a normal wall, the floor type, the ceiling type, ceiling add-ons, and floor add-ons.
Yes. In addition to that, each crystal and some of the blocks in the cave, so for example, that's another aspect of the forest caves, is this rich grass that will, like, bone meal plants that are growing on it over time. So, like, if I plant a oak sapling on top of this, you'll eventually see it start to bone meal the oak sapling, which will cause it to grow faster.
Yep.
But basically, the crystals in these caves give you shards, which can be crafted with usually the floor block or some kind of ore in order to get the gems from these caves. Which, if I go and throw this, it will basically fertilize in the case of forest caves, or in the case of some of the other caves, it'll freeze or melt all the blocks within its range, so you can use this to very quickly just terraform a whole biome.
Oh yeah.
Like if you just do that.
Okay. There's a little bit of lag here.
Gets a little bit laggy if you do too many. But.
So, as Eric mentioned a little bit before, these rich grass can also be tilled in the farmland, and that farmland will randomly fertilize your crops as they grow as well. So you can grow crops way faster than you could last time.
Yeah. There's also a full tool set and armor set for each cave type, which also have special properties.
Which we'll get to later.
Yes.
So,
we should probably fix that.
but yes, Eric is in his. But if you were to plant seeds, which I could probably find right now, on here, these will be randomly fertilized. But that's about it for the forest cave. We will move on to the ice cave. Alright, here we are in a ice cave. Well, a taiga. I have found an ice cave though. So let's just head on down here. And yes, here we are in a beautiful looking ice cave. These are by far my favorite type of cave in this mod so far. Eric, so I can tell a little bit. These spawn mostly in cold biomes, actually entirely in cold biomes, and they spawn with ice flow on the really low parts. So where lava would normally spawn, ice flow spawns.
Yep.
They spawn with this ancient ice on the ground. It's not packed ice. It does look similar, but it's not. And then it spawns with glacier rock on the sides here. Right, yes. Glacier rock on the sides and the ceiling along with ice crystals. So, take it away, Eric.
So basically, these ones, whereas the other two, the lava cave was difficult to traverse because of the lava, and the forest cave is difficult to traverse because of the actual, like, just grass everywhere. This one is a lot more hard to move around because the ancient ice has a ridiculous slipperiness value. Like, more than regular ice, so you will just slide all over the place when you're trying to walk in this thing. Additionally,
along with slowness.
Yes, almost everything in this cave will give you slowness because of how cold it is. So, if you swim in this ice flow here, which is it's like an icier version of water that only spawns in ice caves, you will get slowness. If you walk around on this ice stuff, you will get slowness, although it doesn't affect you too much because you're sliding around on it. Additionally, this place has these little ice crystal things that spawn here,
Yes.
which basically, like the other ones, have special properties in which they can freeze blocks, as you can see if you fly over here.
No, you don't see.
There is a massive... This was a geyser that was flowing out of the wall, and the ice crystals continuously froze the blocks of the geyser until it continuously spread around here and just became this giant, like, dangling stalagmite formation of ice. So you'll see these sometimes in ice caves. If you see a bunch of packed ice all over the place and just like a weird formation, it was probably a water stream.
Yes, and that is the freeze effect.
Yes.
Which is what the crystals have. So, yes. I believe that is ice caves, right? Anything else to add?
Wait. Frisium or...
Oh, yes, that's right. Eric?
And also there is some cracked glacier rock spawning in some places.
Oh, that is probably a result of the ice flow hitting the lava over here. Basically, when ice flow hits different liquids, just like water and lava, it creates different blocks, which we'll cover in a few minutes. And the Frisium ore here is a method of getting this ancient ice, so this is another Silk Touch benefit thing. If you get Silk Touch, you can just harvest this ancient ice with no problem. But if you don't have Silk Touch yet, because once again, it's a pretty late game enchantment, you can get this Frisium ore that spawns in the walls, which you can then smelt into ancient ice itself, which you can use to craft Frisium crystals and get Frisium armor and such.
Yes. So a quicker alternative to mining Frisium ice if you don't have Silk Touch, basically.
Yes. Once you get Silk Touch, Frisium ice is all over the place, so mine your heart out.
And you'll need it for those pesky fire caves.
If you want like a full set of Frisium armor, you'll want to get Silk Touch first, probably, so that you can
burn into a flaming pile of ash in an inferno. Then you should probably get ice crystals.
Could be a good idea.
Yeah. So
also, you can sometimes find lapis lazuli or generating in this glacier rock.
Yeah, that's a special ore, vanilla ore.
These ones have a special lapis ore that gives you probably about double lapis, roughly, on average.
Can't really find any right now because it's lapis for some reason. Okay, so here we are in a mesa biome, and we have found ourselves a nice fire cave, as you can see by the surface. The crystals like to touch, things on the surface as well. So the fire crystals will melt things, as they are fire crystals, and that's what fire tends to do. And they are melting these things on the surface. So here's a cave that we have found. We destroyed the ceiling a little bit to get a better look at it. But if you go inside of the cave, where's everybody? Oh, hello. The floor spawns as lava, and this is for a good reason. So Eric, take it away.
Yeah, basically, you're not supposed to explore these ones until after you've already explored the ice ones. Because obviously, if you go run into this first thing in the game, you're just gonna die, like, straight up. Like, good luck. Yes. However, if you've already explored the ice ones, and you grab yourself some Frisium armor here, you put that on, these suddenly become significantly less dangerous to traverse, as you can just walk around and everything turns into obsidian, if you're careful. Also may want to use ice gems or crystals in conjunction with this to navigate, since the obsidianing is a little bit buggy.
You can't really fall down.
Yeah.
Since the block placement works. But it works when it needs to.
Yes.
So, these caves spawn with molten stone on the sides, lava as the floor, and molten stone as the ceiling as well. And it spawns with fire crystals that do all this fiery stuff.
You also might want to explain what the stained clay is doing here.
The stained clay is basically replacing the dirt and gravel
that would normally spawn in a normal vanilla cave.
Yeah, so eventually we're going to figure out something better to replace that with, but stained clay is just one of the few blocks that does not melt when exposed to fire crystals. Because if you see the stone that's being placed here, it basically just melts into lava if it gets too close to these.
Very true, that is.
Which is another property we'll cover of the fire crystals in a minute once we're done exploring this cave.
Yep.
So here.
I found some cooled molten stone over here.
Okay, good.
And cooled molten stone does what, Eric?
essentially cooled molten stone is actually just an ore rather than a block. So it allows you, because if you mine this molten stone here, if you want to mine a piece of that, you'll see it just turns into lava. Like, you can't just mine it or else you just get more lava everywhere. You can, however, you can mine it with Silk Touch. So if I wasn't in creative, that would have actually dropped it. But obviously, getting Silk Touch is kind of a late game thing, and you need this stuff to do certain recipes. So if you mine this cooled molten stone over here, it gives you itself regardless of whether or not you use Silk Touch, and you can then go and actually smelt this into the regular molten stone, which you can use to make fire crystals and other stuff like that.
Which we will show later as well.
Yes.
So yeah, that's pretty much fire caves. There's also random little ore spawnings, like vanilla would spawn, like this coal over here with the normal stone texture. That will be changed soon. That's just, we didn't get to it in the 96 hours of modjam.
Yeah.
It's just a small little bug that we will fix soon.
Here are one diamonds.
Yeah, there's a special version
sorry.
of diamond ore that spawns here that basically gives you double diamond drops whenever you mine it.
Yes.
So,
1 to 4 diamonds to be exact.
oh, so it's even more good.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's very nice.
So these things are definitely worth it to explore if you have the right gear. Yeah, if you get some Fresium armor, some water, some just Fresium gems, it should make these a lot easier to explore.
Yep, so cool. That is fire caves.
Yep.
Okay, here we are in a super flat world to test the items. So, you know, some slime helpers here. Sliming along. We have a village here for various testing purposes, which you'll see in a minute. But if you head over to the creative tab here, Elemental Cave comes with a whole bunch of different block types. Eric.
So, as you can see, obviously, there's the 3 main different stone types, glacier rock, molten stone, and ancient moss stone. Each of these here. These have a couple different properties. The glacier rock is slippery. The molten stone will light you on fire. Obviously, I'm in creative, so it's not going to work. And the moss stone is just kind of regular stone. It's got texture. Each of these has slabs, bricks, brick slabs, brick stairs, cobblestone, cobblestone slabs.
Slabs.
Just grab some of the bricks here. All the molten, they all share the same properties. So, like the molten stone bricks are still going to light you on fire. The ice stone bricks are going to make you slip around and stuff.
Yes.
All those different kind of
and
stuff.
By the way, recipes can be used with any eye. We're not going to go over them because that's obviously too lengthy of a process for no reason. So you can find them using any eye, or you can go on the forum page, which will be linked in the description, which will have all the information on it.
Most of them are pretty self-explanatory.
Yeah, they're pretty self-explanatory, but you know, something.
Yes.
Information.
One thing we did forget to cover that will be important here is in the Nether there is a new ore called glistening ore. This stuff basically just spawns in the lower regions of the Nether. Looks kind of similar to quartz, so it's a little hard to find, but if you look around you can distinguish it. It also emits light, so that helps.
Oh, it spawns very low as well.
Yeah, it spawns like near the lava level.
It's about as common as what, gold?
Yeah, probably.
It's about
So,
common as gold, and it spawns.
It's a bit hard to get.
Yeah.
When you mine that, you'll get one of these clear gems here, which the server seems to be lagging a bit. There we go. You'll get one of those things, which is used as a base for the other 3 types of gems, one which we've already covered.
I already found some glistening ore.
Well, there we go, not as rare as
So
you thought.
Doesn't take too long to find.
At layer 36.
36, yeah. I think it's like below 40 is the official.
Somewhere around there. Right, these are the bases for all gems, which can be used to craft
so the
a
gems,
gem of every element, which is spawned in the elemental cave. See, it all ties together.
Yep. You already saw the forest gem here, which, if I throw that, all those bone meal noises.
Fertilize function, which is
fertilize this thing. So if I throw this at like a church, one of the neat functions is that it turns cobblestone into mossy cobblestone.
Alright.
As you can see right here, so this church is now gloriously mossy.
Yes.
The other 2 have different functions. So the frost gem will freeze things. So, for example, all this tall grass here is now snow.
Yeah, these work best with trees as well.
Yeah, if you get a tree here,
I got it.
yeah, grab one of those and grow it.
Okay,
I'm
so
frozen.
here we have a tree.
Yes, we have one of these trees here. So if you take the frost gem and you just throw it at this tree, turns all the leaves into snow, turns all the snow into ice, and turns all the ice into packed ice.
Yes, and throw that at me as well, Eric.
Yes, if I throw it at you, I can't see you because I have the slowness effect.
Oh.
It also gives a mobs it hits the slowness 10 effect, which effectively freezes them in place for about 2 minutes.
So,
you can get it with a milk bucket, so I recommend carrying them around if you're going to use them as weapons.
I essentially am frozen.
Yes, you cannot move.
I'm just mashing space right now.
Yep, can't jump, can't move.
Can't do anything.
Just stuck in place.
Milk. Oh, it zooms in as well, which is absolutely terrifying.
Yes.
Okay. Those are ice crystals.
Those are the ice crystals there. If I drank some milk.
Oh, you
good.
froze the poor slime. Poor little guy, frozen. Can't act freely as he pleases.
Some of these slimes. It also does some damage. The damage is a little inconsistent because it's mostly based on the fact that you take a lot of fall damage if you have slowness. And they kind of get knocked back a little bit. So if you like punch a mob while it has slowness, this guy will take like 100 hearts of fall damage. It's ridiculous.
That is true. Fire gems or magma gems.
Yes, magma gems. These are probably the most fun to have any of these. We're just gonna do a little bit of carpet
test on this little thing.
Yes. So you can see this little mess of snow that we made.
Experimentation.
Stuff. Oh, this is another property of the frost gems over here, is if you throw them at this grass. Yeah, that.
Yeah.
But if you throw this at the snow, the fire gems will melt the snow, or the packed ice into ice, back into snow blocks, and then melt the snow blocks back into water. So now we have this giant mess of water that it'll take about several years to clean up. Like I said, you can use these. Oh god. Like I said, you can use these for a bunch of cool auto generators, but I'll get to some of those later when we cover the crystals a little bit more.
Right. Here,
the other thing that this can be used for is, and my condolences to the families of these villagers, you can now use these to just do that. Bam! Your roof is gone. Your floor is gone. All your flammable blocks are gone. It will auto smelt stone or cobblestone into stone, which I mean I guess it's useful if you have stone touch.
So sand into glass.
Yes, it will smelt sand into glass, which is why when we were covering those fire caves, you could see all that glass everywhere. If you throw this at the ground, it will smelt the gravel into stone.
Oh god, they're burning!
Oh,
horror!
This is mass genocide right here. You can melt all these buildings. It does melt it into flowing lava, so you won't be able to just use this to get infinite fuel forever. But you can just, like, if you have, like, a cliff, you can just go throw these at the cliff and use it for, like, speed mining.
Exactly, so let's just have a carpet bomb little party here.
Yeah, we'll just throw a bunch of junk at this village and see what happens.
So much burning. There will be nothing left of this village, just lava.
Throw some forest gems down here for good measure.
It's just lagging. It also turns grass into dirt.
Yes.
And and tall grass into flames. So there's, oh god, there's just mass fire patches now. This is just absolutely terrifying. Oh, but it's so beautiful. So yeah, these are the fire stuff. So we will move on to armor now.
Yeah.
Also, another fun little thing. You throw these fire at people and they scurry like they do in the cartoons.
Yep. It gives them speed 5.
So they just run like mad.
If you throw it at these things, you can see the slimes hopping a little bit faster than normal. They're just slow. However, what you do not probably want to do is throw them at a big, giant cluster of zombies. Because if I spawn a bunch of these here, and I light them all on fire, what they're now going to do is, if I was in survival mode, run at me very, very quickly. which would obviously not be ideal. So that is not recommended unless you are prepared to fight the zombie horde there.
Yes. Okay, so each cave has one armor for its elemental effect.
Yes, you craft these with the gems that we just showed back there, so they can be either used as tools or you can craft them into tools. So if I put on some armor here, this only works with the full set, so as you can see, it's not doing anything right now. But if I put on the helmet, bam! Fertilizes everywhere I walk.
So you can just technically walk across your garden,
Yep.
and I can't hear myself think with all that bone meal placing. But
yeah, you can walk across the garden and do this. You can walk across the desert and just terraform it by walking across it.
true.
However, these things are very expensive. Like, the gems are not cheap, and making a full set of armor is not cheap, especially.
We try to be balanced.
So, it is pretty balanced. Also, these things will take a lot more damage in certain conditions. I think the grass ones take damage if you're on fire, the ice ones take damage if you're on fire, and the fire ones take damage if you're in water.
Or ice.
So, or ice, yeah.
But
Like that.
So
the next type is what Adrian here is wearing, which is ice. So if you go stomp around on
Frisium is the
Frisium,
technical name.
yes. If you go stomp around on these flowers here, and just kind of go fly like one block above them, probably. Let me see if I can get this to work. Yeah, you can freeze basically any blocks that you walk on. The freezing is a tiny bit glitchy right now. We're working on that. For some reason, it favors the south and west. I'm not sure why. But if I go walk around here, you can see it's freezing all these flowers that I'm walking on into snow. It will freeze all these water blocks into ice.
Yeah, so you can technically walk on water.
Yes, basically. If you walk slow enough, you can just walk across a river.
Precisely. And what also is this we mentioned earlier, I think we hinted it a
Yes.
little bit. For the fire caves, these are how you would navigate around the fire caves, as you would use these and, you know, walk on lava.
So, for example, if I go crouch on over here, if I can get the right angle here, it's a bit glitchy. Oh, those are ghost blocks. Okay.
It's really just nice and
You can see I am creating obsidian underneath me. So, if I can get the right angle here, I just kind of crouch, I can just generate obsidian from that.
Yep.
Alright, yeah. So you can kind of use that. If you're in the nether especially, it's helpful. That is one feature we didn't cover of the freezing stuff, is that if I plop down some netherrack here,
Oh, that's right.
it will convert the netherrack into actually somewhat useful cobblestone, so that you don't have all this garbage netherrack laying around. Which also helps you to mark out your path that you walked on in the nether, so you can get back to your nether portal easier.
True.
And then obviously in the nether you have these giant lava lakes, so you can just waltz on across those, no problem.
Right. So, our last... Well, I should probably mention that each one of these gems each have crafting components that use what we call shards, and again, you can look at the forum page for these recipes or NEI or whatever. But each one of these shards, they're basically like a toned down version of,
They're essentially a less powerful version of the gem.
So I believe these ice shards, you can throw them at these and they'll slow them down a little bit. You can throw them at the ground and they'll be all fancy like. And then the fire shards will just burn like small amounts of things, I believe. I think these just add. Yeah, they just set things on fire and make them faster.
They're a little bugged right now for some reason. They don't really set things on fire properly how they should,
Well,
but we'll fix that.
So yeah, they scurry like crazy, like the fire do. But these are only for one entity at a time. And then forest gems do what you would expect them to do, and not work.
Wait. Hold on. Come over here real quick. Was this... I just want to point out, I'm not sure if this was intentional, but this is something that can happen if you get enough of these. Where it forms
I
obsidian.
made it.
Okay. But actually, theoretically, that could happen where it forms the obsidian around the portal, and then actually lights it because of all the fire. So if you get really lucky, you can get a free nether portal.
That is true. And these are a little buggy right now, forest shards, but these will... I can't hear myself think, really, slimes. But these will essentially grow like a crop or something and give you
Yeah.
some sort of...
It like bone meal. It's basically bone meal.
Yeah, throwable
That's essentially
bone meal.
what that does. So
So
I
those
don't
are the
recommend
shards. Yeah,
the shards
but
by
I don't...
themselves.
they
It's
should-
not really
yeah,
worth it.
exactly. What he just said.
Uh,
So,
So next thing, before we start talking about, and
Fire
then just
armor.
a little side thing, it's just the tools.
oh,
Yeah, the fire armor. Also, I guess we should show that first.
yeah, tools.
If I grab some of this,
You look mighty fine, by the way.
Hmm.
You look like a fiery doom of death with this armor on.
beautiful. You can see it burns all the blocks you walk on. So if I walk on this here stone, it's lava. You may think this is a problem because you're just going to die every time you walk on a block, but it also gives you fire immunity. So if you can get a full set of this, you can navigate fire caves with no problem at all.
And we already went over, this will normally hurt you if you're in survival, by the way.
Yes.
But, we already went over most of the flame effects, so you get the idea. It's just wherever you walk, it's fire.
Yeah.
I should also note that there is an Easter egg hidden with this armor.
Yes.
You can find it in the config file, nudge, wink, wink.
Yeah, pretty much. There's a little fun feature that you can trigger.
Yeah.
Not recommended for long-term use.
Yeah.
It's a little painful to your computer if you use this too much. Oh, that's weird. There's some ghost blocks
gravel turns into lava, which I did not...
Fascinating.
remember.
Okay.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So right, fire armor. So now we will go over tools. Okay, here we are ready to test tools with our generously volunteered lab rats here.
Yeah.
They wanted to do this.
This is very consensual. They signed a waiver and everything, trust me.
Yep.
Basically, each one of the tools, like the armor and everything else, has certain properties. So when you right-click these, bam, plants.
That is, these he means earthen tools.
Yes. Yeah, you can see I'm holding a earthen pickaxe right here. These poor villagers.
They're fine. Everything's fine. It's okay.
Everything's fine. It's fine. Basically, these act as like portable bone meal while you're just holding your tools.
But they also take away significant.
Yes, it deals durability damage to the tool every time you use this ability.
Which would,
It's like 4 durability or something, so it's not recommended to use it too much. But if you
for the sword, it's 10 durability.
yeah,
it's pretty pricey.
yeah, these are not. It's not a cheap ability, but if you just want to use it once or twice, it's nice.
These work with every tool set.
Yep. So like for the fire ones, it will burn any blocks you
Every tool I meant, except for hose.
Yes,
I don't
yeah.
think hose do anything.
Hose do not at the moment. I have some plans for those, but they're complicated, so those will be later.
Okay.
Hose at the moment just till things, because hose.
Why not?
Basically. But, okay, so next tool's obviously fire. Right-click it, burns it.
But what's interesting about fire is that if you were to hit a mob, it applies that same potion effect.
Yes, it gives them speed and they burn. So if you do that with the pickaxe, it does it.
They
If
do
you
the
do,
same with every tool button.
That's it.
Too.
yeah, you can auto cook your peach. Yep,
Oh,
nice cooked pork.
bacon.
Yeah.
Fancy.
And then the freezium tools. If you right-click the ground, it will freeze it. So, for
Obviously
example,
grass, so.
yeah, all these blocks here. If you had some water, you could right-click the water and it would just freeze it into an ice block.
They also freeze mobs as well.
Yes, it
Not
will do.
completely, but they make them very slow.
It makes them slower. It gives them like
It doesn't do
slow.
the magma gem
Yeah.
freezing because that's a bit overkill.
Yeah, and obviously the abilities of the Infernium and whatever this is, Freezium pickaxes will also consume durability damage from those. So it's not recommended to use them too much.
Okay, so that just about concludes our Elemental Caves mod. Remember, it was made for modjam 4 in 96 hours. This is actually our final result. We fixed a few bugs a little bit afterward, but
Yeah, this is basically what we had at the end of modjam.
we have tons, and I mean tons of more plans for this mod. We tend to add way more elements as opposed to just... We have grow, melt, and freeze right now. We tend to add much more for, you know, other caves. We'll probably add radioactive ones, mushroom ones, desert ones, like Eric mentioned before.
Yep. We also need some kind of air cave. I'm not sure what that'll be.
Yeah, we'll
Just be empty.
we'll have a lot more elements. We'll have
Yeah.
a lot more fun stuff for you to carpet bomb villagers with.
Yep.
And
Speaking of destruction, for our outro here, we're just gonna plop these on down. These are all 3 crystal types, which we sort of showed in the caves. And we are just going to watch what's happening here. They are very reactive to each other. So if you place all 3 of these in one area, it does some very interesting things.
all the elements have combined. Yes. So yeah.
Yeah.
Caves.
Elemental caves. We actually released one of our modjam mods finally.
That is true.
This is the first. We've entered the past, like, I think 3 modjams.
We also have mine extrapolation as well. So you should go
Yes, check out Monster Appellation. We're doing
like
some
that.
very cool updates with that. I am excited for that. We've done a whole bunch of cleanup. We're adding some new features. The features list is getting a complete rewrite because we're
It has got a
re-implementing.
complete rewrite.
Well, it's in the process
Yeah.
because there's a lot of features in that mod. Like, sweet Jesus.
Yeah, I know it's got quite a bit of.
Yeah, we'll be adding official support for that
Yeah, we'll
mod.
be adding integration for these
eventually.
mods together, so you'll have an epic
Yeah,
party of carpet
like-
bombing and stone cutting and
Stone cut all your like magma rock,
everything.
like freaking pillars and fancy sauce.
It'll be great.
It'll be a fun time.
But I think that's good. Thanks for watching, everyone. Go
Yep.
download this mod. Be sure to vote on modjam if you are a participant.
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.